Avatar The Last Airbender is technically a kid's show, but the life lessons buried inside it, they hit harder than anything I've seen in adult television, and most of them come from a retired firebender who just wants to drink tea. Look, Avatar gets praised constantly. The animation, the fight choreography, the world building, but what people don't talk about enough is that this show is secretly a masterclass in how to live. Every main character carries a specific lesson, and today I want to break down exactly what each one teaches us, with examples straight from the show. And trust me, we're spending a lot of time on Uncle Iroh. Let's start with Zuko, because his arc is arguably the greatest character development in television history, animated or otherwise. Zuko spends 2 full seasons believing he needs his father's honor, he needs the throne, he needs to capture the Avatar. That's his identity, or at least that's the identity someone else assigned to him. In The Crossroads of Destiny, Zuko has the single most human moment in the entire series. He's standing in a crystal catacomb, and he has to choose: side with his sister, who represents everything he's been told he should want, or side with Aang, who represents everything he actually needs. And he picks wrong. He betrays Katara. He sides with Azula. And here's what makes that brilliant. The show lets him fail. Zuko doesn't get it right on the first try. He has to live with that choice, sit with the consequences, and slowly realize that the honor he was chasing was never his father's to give. The lesson? You are not what other people decide you should be. Your identity is something you choose, and sometimes you choose wrong first, and that's part of the process. Now Aang, the Avatar, the kid who could bend all 4 elements but chose kindness every single time it mattered. In the series finale, everyone, Katara, Sokka, even the previous avatars, tells Aang to kill Fire Lord Ozai. It's the logical move. It's the practical move. It's what every other avatar before him would have done, but Aang refuses, not because he's naive and not because he's weak, because he understands something they don't. He says, I have to find another way. And the show doesn't let him off easy. He struggles with it. He seeks guidance from the past avatars, from the lion turtle. He genuinely wrestles with whether his personal morality can survive this moment. That's the lesson. Real strength isn't about having the most power. It's about having the most power and still choosing to use it with restraint. Aang could have ended Ozai in a second. Instead, he found a third option, energy bending, that honored his values without sacrificing his principles. Toph Beifong, born blind, treated as fragile by her parents, hidden away like she was broken, and she became the greatest earthbender in the world. Toph's entire character is a rejection of the limitations other people put on her. Her parents saw blindness as a weakness. Toph learned to see with her feet. She literally feels the earth, senses vibrations, and sees better than anyone with eyes. She invented metal bending, invented it. She was trapped in a metal box, and instead of giving up, she realized the metal still had trace earth in it, and she bent it. The lesson here isn't just overcome your limitations. It's more specific than that. Toph teaches us that the limitation exists only because someone else defined it. The moment you stop accepting other people's definition of what you can't do, you find capabilities nobody knew existed, including you. Okay, this is the one you came for. Uncle Iroh. Iroh is the emotional core of Avatar. He's a retired war general, a man who laid siege to Ba Sing Se for 600 days. He was next in line to be Fire Lord, and he lost his son, Lu Ten, in that war. That loss broke him open and rebuilt him into the wisest character in the entire series. Here's the thing about Iroh. He doesn't just give advice, he embodies it. Every single line he delivers carries weight because we know the pain behind it. Let me give you specific examples. When Zuko is burning with rage, Iroh tells him, "You sound like my brother." Not calm down, not "you're overreacting." He quietly connects Zuko's behavior to Ozai's, the very person Zuko is becoming, without lecturing him. That's masterful. In The Tales of Ba Sing Se, there's a scene where Iroh celebrates his dead son's birthday. He buys food, sets up a small picnic, and sings "Leaves from the Vine," a lullaby he used to sing to Lu Ten. He breaks down crying in the middle of a public square, and the show doesn't cut away. It lets him grieve. That scene teaches you more about processing loss than any self-help book ever will. Then there's his philosophy on power. Iroh says, power in firebending comes from the breath, not the muscles. He's teaching Zuko that true strength comes from within, from composure, from breath, from centering yourself. It's not about force. And my personal favorite, when Zuko finally comes to him seeking redemption, Iroh doesn't punish him. He doesn't say, "I told you so." He embraces him and cries. Because Iroh understood something that most people never figure out. People who are lost don't need judgment. They need someone who never stopped believing they'd find their way back. Uncle Iroh teaches us that wisdom isn't about being the smartest person in the room. It's about knowing what matters. Love, patience, grief, tea, and being stubborn enough to protect those things even when the world is burning around you. And real quick, Katara teaches us that compassion is a choice you make every day, especially when it's hard. She holds the group together emotionally, and she never lets the darkness of war strip away her humanity. Sokka teaches us that you don't need bending. You don't need to be special in the obvious way to be invaluable. He's the strategist. He's the planner. He brings humor and grounding to a group of literal superheroes. Your value isn't defined by having the flashiest skill. Avatar. The Last Airbender works because it never talks down to its audience. It trusts you to sit with grief, with identity crises, with moral complexity, and it trusts you to come out the other side with something real. The characters don't just go on a journey across the four nations, they go on the same journey we all do, figuring out who we are, what we value, and how to be human in a world that doesn't make it easy. If this video made you want to rewatch Avatar for the 5th time, you're not alone. Hit subscribe if you want more deep dives like this, and let me know in the comments. Which character's lesson hit hardest for you? I'll see you in the next one.